And we are live, no chill live, 119 Virgo.
Hey, quit belling my phone, bro.
We back, guys.
We're back. We took a couple weeks off. Oh man, it feels good. Feels good.
Yes, welcome back, everybody. We missed you all. You know, we got like 1 or 2 weeks left of summer. It's Fashion Week in New York City. You know, they had the VMAs here in Jersey. But, you know, I had to start the show off, you know, with a little 50 Cent, you know.
That's right.
London girl, yo.
Shout out to 50.
And shout out to London, yo. I love London. I got to get back there one day, yo.
What's he still got? Like 50 tour dates left?
A
Something
lot.
crazy.
Yes, shout out to 50 Cent, man. Final Lap Tour. Go check him out. I think he's coming to PNC in like next week, so
Hey.
go check him out, you know, if you haven't seen him yet. But yeah, like a lot's happened in the last couple of weeks. You know, we took a break for Labor Day. You know, we are, you know, professional workers outside of this. So, you know, it's always good to take time off and, you know, just chill out.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it. I didn't do much during Labor Day weekend, but while you all are just starting to join us, make sure that you follow, subscribe. We're on all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, pretty much anywhere that you get social media, live content, we're there.
Hell yes. We are there. We are everywhere. And we are up to 230 subscribers on YouTube. You know,
Let's go.
From zero. Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And you told me, you know, we had 250,000 views.
Wow. That's a huge amount. Shout out to all of you that have been supporting us, following us, liking, hating, whatever you've been doing. We love it. We appreciate it. And keep up the good work.
Hell yeah. Shout out to the haters too.
That's
you
right.
know, it's all good.
That's
it's all
right.
good. We love you all. You know, a lot of you guys are idiots, but hey, not our subscribers, not our fans, not our supporters. Like, you guys are the smartest people on earth because you fuck with us.
Exactly. You already know. You know the vibes. And while we're at it, make sure to send us some DMs. That way,
yes.
if you want to call in, if you want to get a link and chat with us, we'd love to talk to you about some of the topics we've got coming up. There's a lot to cover today.
Hell yeah, you know, we had our man, I Am Cincinnati Man, join us last week. So, you know, we had our girl Genzino.
That's right. That's right.
Last week. So, yeah, we're looking for people to join in, call. You know, we'll definitely be setting up some more interviews in the future. You know, it's been a while since we had somebody else on there. So, you know, be on the lookout. Yeah, that was a good time.
It was good to have a guest, man. And shout out to I Am Cincinnati Man. Shout out to Genzino. We appreciate y'all showing support and spending some time with us. It's been a long time since we've done some interviews, and at least on the live. You know, we've hit the streets a few times, which has been really fun.
Oh yeah, man! No one's doing what we're doing. We out on the streets. You
Yes.
know, we lit out here. We lit. But we did have a conversation with Cincinnati Man. You know, about the NFL season. Usually we don't start off with sports usually, but you know, it was week one.
It's week one, and boy, was it a crazy week one. Troy, I feel like we need to hit the violins or something.
Oh shit. Yeah, man. You know, man. Troy, big Jets fan, Jets, Jets. You see the American flag behind Bryan right now. And, you know, Aaron Rodgers, he came out with the American flag, looked like Hulk Hogan, but it was 9/11, and 9/11 happened again.
The towers fell. The towers did fall. Because, I mean, Troy, tell us a little bit about your Monday. Because when we saw you in our pre-production meeting, you had your jersey on. You were ready. You were psyched. You were set for the season.
I was ready. I was ready, man. It was I was very excited. You know, I bought into the hype, but in like a very tame, reasonable way, because you know, a Jets fan, you know, what can go wrong will go wrong. Mm-hmm. And yeah, who would have saw this coming? Not like this.
Nah, that shit is awful, yo. Aaron Rodgers ruptured his Achilles on the 4th play. Oh shit, sorry. But you the Jets ended up winning. They won the game. Was it bittersweet, man?
Yeah, it was bittersweet, devastating. I'm still processing it. Like, it doesn't even feel real that, like, he didn't even get a pass off. And I'm just like, oh, my God, I cannot believe that this is reality right now.
Yeah, wait until you see the Jets play the Cowboys. Then it's definitely gonna be real then. It was a really crazy game. I didn't tune in until later because I just wanted to see how bad the ass whooping was going to be. But the Jets defense, oh my God, they look out of this world right now. One guy had 3 picks in a game. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And they came back, tied it up, went to overtime, and then the guy we talked about, Gibson. We saw him in the show on HBO on Hard Knocks, and what do you got to say about Gibson?
I mean, I'm so happy. It's like like it's that it is bittersweet, but to go out like that, the Jets showed a lot of heart. Drafting that rookie, keeping him on the team, and then he's the one who came up clutch, made the play, and won the game. We love to see it.
Punt return walk off in overtime, man, huge. Really, really happy for the Jets to get that one win because. It's going to be a little while till the next one.
I don't know, man. You never know. It's still very, very early, man. I know your Eagles, they got the job done.
They did.
But you know who did not, yo? I'm glad the Jets won because the night before, man, MetLife Stadium, someone took a dump there.
God, jeez. That was I think they said something like that's the worst home opener like ever for a team.
Bro, the Giants forgot how to play football, yo. They're like allergic to the rain. I don't know. I have no idea what happened, but they just looked like they didn't know what they were doing. Like time they had an opportunity to like make a play, they just fucked it up, man.
40-0. 40 to like the game was over after the first quarter.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys defense looks really scary. The Giants just look awful all around. And Dak, no interceptions.
No interceptions, but yeah, man, the Giants suck, yo. I heard people saying that wasn't even the Giants, that was Bishop Sycamore.
Basically, that's what it looked like. I mean, I don't know. They paid Daniel Jones. They didn't want to pay Saquon, and they gave him a 1-year deal, but he wasn't even on the field because for what? Why have him out there? But they left Daniel Jones out there so he could get banged up and beat up by Micah. Like, I don't get it.
He deserved it, man. That whole team deserved. They shouldn't even play the rest of the season. Just take the year off, man.
Listen, it's a long season. 17, 18 games, whatever it is. I think they have plenty of time to at least figure things out. But they've got an uphill climb for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Uphill climb. During the break, I did watch, documentary BS High on Max, HBO. They did a documentary. We talked about the Bishop Sycamore story on the live a couple of years ago where, this high school, prep school hybrid of a fake school, they went on to play a televised game on ESPN.
Yeah. They did. They got a lot of publicity, but it just wasn't quite what they were looking for, I don't think.
Not good publicity, man. All the jokes, we had our jokes. They had 21-year-olds on the team. They did. They were sleeping in motels. This guy.
They were stealing food. They had to steal food to feed themselves. It was sad.
I mean, shout out to Jameis Winston. All football players have their hard times.
Listen, Jameis just wanted some crab legs, all right? I'll never forget the video of that man on the field putting his hand into a W and eating it. Like, we gonna eat this W one more time.
That is your favorite player.
Listen, I really like Jameis. He's a character, but now he's just sitting on the bench for the Saints.
Man, it's all good. You look like you repping the Saints right now. No lie.
Listen, man, I had to get my summer vibe going. I want to continue feeling it at least until next week.
Yeah, man. But, another character, Leroy Johnson, man. The guy, the mastermind behind Bishop Sycamore. Man, he was the star of that documentary. That shit was
was.
hilarious, man. He's insane, He was the coach, the founder. Um, he was running all types of scams, And they kind of like highlighted interviews from the players and their experiences and how they felt like manipulated and used, and they weren't available. There weren't other opportunities for them available afterwards. But honestly, he picked people who didn't have opportunities to begin with, because who the fuck will go to this school? Did you feel bad for the players? Because a lot of people did.
I mean, I felt a little bad for the players, but at the same time, you know what? Yeah, I feel bad for the players.
Okay.
Because I had to think about it because I wanted to call them stupid. But
football players,
the reason that they didn't make it to college, a lot of them was because they were ineligible due to academics. So it wouldn't be fair for me to call them stupid because it's just not right.
I think it's very fair. I think it's like the most fair.
But the people that I will say are stupid for sure, the parents. There were moms that were like the team mom, and they didn't think nothing was wrong. They didn't think it was weird. They didn't have no trainers. They didn't think it was weird that they had to stay in like hotels and they just kept bouncing around to different hotels, and like their kids were stealing food. Like they didn't have anything that they would typically have as a powerhouse school getting ready to play IMG Academy or any number of other schools that they played. They played 2 football games in 4 days and got blown out in both games. But all the games that they played, they got ripped. They were losing the whole time, and nobody knew until they got put on TV.
Grown ass men getting beat by high schoolers, and they were talking shit beforehand, like, "Oh, we gotta beat these little kids' ass." And they got their ass beat. Yeah. But yeah, man, you blame the moms, man. It's another edition of Bryan Blames Women.
Listen, I'm just saying, I didn't see no dads in the documentary.
I mean, I feel like they fit the profile of people who would fall for something this like this. But shout out to Roy Johnson. He filed for bankruptcy this summer, which is not surprising. I mean, he owes a lot of people.
There's a lot of people looking for him right now. And when I was watching this, I was trying to understand: is he a psychopath or a sociopath? Like, which is he? And I had to look up the difference between them. They seem pretty much like the same thing, except that one is like aggressive and the other is manipulative.
Yeah, like psychopaths are born as psychopaths. It's like genetics. Sociopaths is more like nurture, like your environment makes you that way. Kind of fucked up in your early childhood. People with like abandonment issues and other things. It brings out like dark characteristic, but the behaviors are typically the same. It's just cycles are a little bit more calculated and they're more self-aware. Sociopaths are a little bit more, outwardly aggressive, whereas cycles know how to hide their shit until they get triggered. So I don't know. I feel like he is a little bit psychotic though.
Yeah, I think he falls in the psychopath category. Because looking at him, this man, he was still lying.
Yeah.
Like, he's been caught. And granted, there aren't any criminal charges, which is the most amazing thing about this story. It's all civil suits. But he's been caught and he is sticking to the lie. You got to, in a certain fucked up way, you got to respect it.
Yeah, man. Leroy Johnson, come sit on this couch, yo. We want to talk to you, man.
100%. I would love to talk to him and see, what he's cooking in the lab. I want to see what's next.
For real, he said he's not done. He feels like this is only the beginning, you know? And they said in documentaries, anyone can really do this. And, honestly, like all football is a scam. Even the professionals get taken advantage of. Like we just talked about Saquon Barkley not getting paid. So, the politics of this and, go beyond this fucking case study. I think, a lot of high school kids, these schools are making millions. The place IMG Academy, like their revenue is like over $100 million. And like for what? Like that's insane.
But, that's not really any different than all these other prep schools and colleges and universities and the way that they handle education. I mean, listen, it's all a money grab. We know that. This one piece of paper, it's going to give you the job of your dreams and change your life.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's nuts. But everyone should go check out that documentary. I found it enjoyable. He is definitely entertaining. He put a lot of work into it. I found it a little bit impressive.
You know what? I just forgot. Maybe he is a sociopath because he was beating the shit out of his girlfriend in front of the players through the whole thing.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, the man drove through a family of geese. Like,
yo, watch that documentary, y'all. HBO, send us some bread. All right,
bread. For the RIP to the geese. They would have loved that bread. Not gonna
crazy
lie,
story.
Honestly,
story.
I be feeling like I want to hit some geese when they be crossing the street. Like, yo, get the fuck out of here. You can fly. Like, what are you doing? Like, but hey, it's all good. It's okay to hunt geese, but it's not okay to run them over with your, Wrangler. I don't understand this world, but hey, whatever.
Craziness.
Yeah,
crazy. It's a sick world, man.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. But hey, check out that doc, man. So week 1 football started up. The writer's strike is still going on, so I'm sure these networks are really happy because they finally have something to talk about. And, a couple of our favorite sports shows, they got new lineups, man. First Take and Undisputed.
That's right. Big changes happening. Big changes happening in the sports world.
Yeah, man. I know you're a big fan of Shannon Sharp. He was on Undisputed for like 6-7 years working with Skip Bayless on Fox. Skip and Stephen A got started on First Takes. It was Skip's show. He brought Stephen A on. The ratings went way up. They were a dynamic duo for like 4 or 5 years before Skip got the big Fox deal. Stephen A is like probably one of the highest paid people at ESPN.
Yeah. What's he got, like 10-15 million a year, something crazy?
I think 10 million a year, which I mean, for all he does, he probably deserves more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
He's their face at this point.
For sure. But he recruited Shannon Sharp to come over to First Take.
Congrats to them. It seems like it's been going pretty well so far, but the first few days there were a little bit of bumps in terms of their interactions and things. Let's take a listen to how that went for them and Stephen A's reaction on the second day.
You could call it day 2, but it's really day 1 because the full 2-hour show with me and the man, Shannon Sharp. I know it was hiccup last year. I know it was hiccup yesterday, Shannon. I know it was hiccup yesterday. All right, I mean, because you called me something other than Stephen A, but I got a solution to the problem.
Okay, what is it?
There we go. What's up, y'all? My name is Stephen A. What's up, baby?
And you are Molly Carroll.
Yes, you said it right. Day 2.
It only took me 7 years.
You know what I mean?
Stephen A's still learning. Caram. Good job. It rhymes with harem.
Yeah.
Caram.
Cameron.
Yeah.
Rhymes with harem.
Q.
Go ahead.
We just call you Q. Okay, come
Did
on.
she have to tell the world it rhymed with harem? I'm just wondering.
That's
I'm
what
just
it
wondering.
rhymes with.
First day. You could call it day 2.
Man, he was calling Stephen A. Skip like multiple times.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the brainwashing, it's hard to overcome. It's hard to get past the brainwashing. You figure for 7 years you were sitting across from somebody saying, Skip, Skip, I gotta stop you there now, Skip. So, I mean, it's gonna take, plus they both start with S. It's like,
It's difficult.
you've seen them on TV before. There's too many connections. I'm sure he'll break out of that in a couple weeks or so, but I'm waiting to see them get a little bit more comfortable before I really start to tune in and see how things are going.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I stopped watching these shows a long time ago, but I'm happy for Shannon Sharp falling on his feet. He has his podcast, Club Shay Shay. Stephen A has his podcast. What do you think about Skip Bayless over at Undisputed? He has a whole lineup of people. He got like Michael Irvin, Keyshawn Johnson, and Richard Sherman.
Listen, he brought all the hood Avengers from sports to come and save him, and it seems like they're just taking over the show. He doesn't even really talk anymore. Like they have so much intellect around football and understanding that game that they don't need his input at all. He sits there and he's like, it's my turn to talk. That's his go-to thing. So I mean, I find it entertaining. Richard Sherman is always great. He's very, very intellectual. I mean, he went to Stanford, and Michael Irving, he's a comedian. So I love it. Your mom said she doesn't like any of the shows.
That's no surprise. Shout out to you, Mom.
Yeah.
tuning in. She told me about some show, like it's called The Other Black Girl on Hulu that she said was good today. So
Yeah.
might got to check that out. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it was trending on Twitter too after she told me. So, but speaking of other black girl, man, Coco Gauff won the U.S. Open.
She did. I hate that we only hear about these women tennis players that are black when like they finally win.
What other tennis players do you ever hear about?
You hear about Nadal and Federer and all these white guys and stuff. Like you hear about them all the time. Now, granted, they are legends. They've won like 20 different major championships and things. But I would love to know about this woman. I would love. She's 19 years old. Yeah. She's a young phenom. Like.
That's why I think you're answering your own question. She's 19. It's her first major win. Like now she's on the map, yo. Shout out to her. But someone did almost spoil the moment. Like, dude, they were winning majors. People before she was born. Like, you can't compare them. But someone did. I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago when this, the climate protester at the Timberwolves game glued their hand to the court or tried to. Someone tried to do that same shit, They tried, this environmental protester, glued their feet to the court, man.
That's so crazy. Like, why would you do that? And this man had some claws on him too. Like, his toenails look nasty. Like, they will cut you.
Yeah, man. He had a shirt that said "In fossil fuels." We talk about the natural disasters that happen. The flood in Libya, the fires in Maui, earthquakes. Like, there's a lot going on with the climate changing. And a lot of people say that's due to fossil fuel use and other pollution on Earth and fucking up the climate.
There was just a flood in Boston.
Oh shit!
This week, and it caused sinkholes to open up and stuff. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah,
it's been nuts.
Yeah, the protester said he was a fan of hers though, and but she said, "Would I prefer it not happening in my match?" 100%, yeah. So she didn't seem to be a fan of his. But do you think we're going to see more of this, like during live events? And do you think gluing yourself is a good strategy? Because it hasn't worked yet. I feel like you need more time.
Listen, I don't know that this is a good strategy necessarily, but something does have to be done. You've got a lot of countries that are pulling out of these different climate agreements. There's countries that just don't care, that don't adhere, even after they do agree to the climate agreements, like the U.S. So I don't know what the solution is going to be, but I feel bad for our kids and our grandkids.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I feel like climate change is something that obviously is being expedited by like these giant corporations. And we talked about a couple years ago when I went to Global Citizens Fest and they kept talking about climate change. But then they're like, oh, this is sponsored by Coca-Cola. And we're going to have the CEO of Coca-Cola talk to us at the end about like, what we can be doing better. And she's like, you guys are responsible for so much bullshit. So don't get me started. So
like 50% of the plastic that's in the ocean is from Coca-Cola.
Exactly. It's insane. So, I don't know, man. I feel like if these protesters really want to do something, glue your ass to the seat, give yourself some time, and just sit there for days, man. Now you got season tickets, yo.
I'm not gonna recommend that, but I think something has to be done, and people are gonna start to care more when it really starts to impact them.
Yeah, but
I mean, I watched, for example, the stuff with Jackson, Mississippi, and the special that's on Amazon Prime talking about Dion and the work that he did at Jackson State, and they covered a lot about the water crisis that they had while his teams were there, and they didn't have water for like weeks.
Damn.
And it was because it rained so much there that their facilities weren't able to handle the processing of the water, cleaning it, all that kind of stuff that happens at reservoirs. So these sorts of things are going to continue to happen. Now, Biden's infrastructure bill, like, I don't know what's going to go on with that, but I'm sure they're not going to be able to handle whatever is coming with climate change. We've got hurricanes hitting California.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think these protesters are really helping. And if I spend money on some seats and someone disrupts it, I'm doing what they did to Ron Artest. I'm throwing my drink right at their face. I don't care.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, we'll see. I'm sure Knicks games are going to have some protests or something going on. We'll see.
They're going to be protesting for other reasons, but hey, who knows? Like, Knicks have been good, so I don't know, and they don't play in MSG. I mean, they kicked out Charles Oakley. Like, they don't give a fuck.
That's true.
It's the mafia over there. If you make one wrong move, they will throw your ass out. They be watching you. Oh man, but yeah, they did Charles Oakley dirty. But who else got done dirty? Israel Adesanya. He got his ass pieced up, bro. That shit was sad.
Yeah, I'm upset that I missed the fight, but based on the highlights that I saw, it was all Strickland.
Yeah, and Jersey strikes again. Lost another big bet. I think he bet almost 400K on Izzy to win by knockout, and he took the L. Now I continue to say I really don't believe Drake ever has to pay for these bets because he's endorsed by Stake, and obviously every time he posts his bet, they get
Do you think they just void it when he loses?
I really do. I really
nuts.
do. Because they get so much press from it. You know what I mean? He has how many hundreds of thousands of followers?
Millions.
No, hundreds of millions. You're right. It's crazy, but yeah, Izzy lost. He took the L. Dana White was not happy. He had big plans, but hey, Dana White's been, he's had his ups and downs since he slapped his wife at a nightclub to start the year off. But he just slapped the new
Happy New Year.
He just slapped the new fighting league with a lawsuit, man. The PFC, the Pillow Fight Championship. Now, Pillow Fighting Championship.
That shit looks crazy.
It is crazy. It's a new league, and the PFC fighters are armed with 6 strapped pillows that must be held onto at all times as the rivals battle it out over 3 90-second rounds, seeking to score points for strikes to the head, 360 strikes, and knocking their opponent to the floor.
I wonder what kind of down they're using in those pillows. Is there a regulation down that they use, or what? A specific weight of the pillows? I need more information on this to know if it's really worth trying to find a clip to watch. Because if they have a pillow that weighs 2 pounds, that could do some damage.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. I'm sure, but this they're getting sued because they use a real similar logo to the UFC, and there was an article saying, "Oh, people might get confused." I'm like, who the fuck would get this?
Who's going to get confused with PFC and UFC? Granted, yes, the logo is red.
It looks the same. It's the same font. Do you have the side by side of it? It's just crazy.
I don't have a side by side, but I'm looking at it now. It's not the same font. It's different.
It's
one
very
is
similar.
One is straight up and down. The UFC one is italicized. I could see it, but I don't think they're gonna win this.
I don't know if they'll win this, but is this something that you would tune into on a whim?
Dude, I'm not watching fucking pillow fights. I'll if it comes across my feed on social media, then I'll be like, oh, let me look at this 30-second clip. But other than that, no, I'm not. No.
I mean,
I want the shit that Russia's doing. I want the car fights. I want the phone booth fight. I want the X arm back. Those are the ones that I want. I want blood and guts. I don't want pillows.
No, I feel you. I mean, Dana White, he can't say this is a silly idea, man. I mean, he's been pushing that power slap thing all year after he slapped his wife. So, I mean, pillow fighting, it could be the next big thing. I don't know, Troy.
We got some free IP right here from Mamm Graham. KFC should endorse PFC.
Troy, what do you think? You said you saw some clips of this.
Yeah, I saw some clips. I wasn't really impressed. The skill, it was just people flailing around. I did see one good hit though. It was these 2 girls fighting, and this girl smacked this girl, did a backhand thing, and the other girl she fell. I was like, oh, that was actually kind of cool. She was wearing one of those Blue Lives Matters pants too, so I was like, yeah, she deserved it. So that part was entertaining, but overall, not much to it.
Wow. I mean, I would tune in. I'm going to watch some clips of this because, I mean, it could be the next big thing.
It's going to be trash.
I might even want to join. And get into some pillow fighting. I don't know, man.
It doesn't take enough skill in my mind.
What do you mean, man? It's a new sport, bro.
Everybody's done pillow fights, though.
Has everybody? Like, Troy, have you done pillow fights in the past?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you win?
Yeah. I mean, I was also the oldest, so it wasn't really fair, but yeah.
That's not fair. When's the last, like, I don't know. I mean, as kids, yeah, but not as full-grown adult. Do you be doing pillow fights as an adult? Because these are grown people.
I have, but not as much, just because it's not fair against Nat. Like, it's
That's domestic abuse.
Listen, I plead the fifth. All right.
Anyway, yeah, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this story, guys, and we'll see. We'll see if this PFC takes off.
He's not getting any money from this. The judge is gonna dismiss this case.
We'll see. I don't know, man. They might have a case. PFC might be the next big sport.
Pillow fight championship. He's got money to spend fighting the pillow fight championship league, but he won't pay his fighters.
Listen, man, he's putting the money into Power Slap, but I think this is a lot more interesting than Power Slap personally. And they got a TV deal for Power Slap, so we'll see what happens with pillow fighting. But yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like this shit could be causing like head injuries and stuff, but who knows? Who knows? That's with a lot of sports. But sometimes when you have too many head injuries, you got to retire. Just like Mitt Romney, that man finally announced his retirement.
Mitt Romney did?
Yeah. Mitt Romney said he's not running for a second term in the Senate.
Wow.
And I think Trump put out a whole, Truth Social. He wasted no time to take shots at Mitt Romney. Oh, let me read what he said. Damn, I just remember that that picture of them at dinner when he was like talking to Trump about maybe being like Secretary of State, and he just looks like so like sad. Like Trump, yeah, he'd be terrorizing his enemies. So
I will say
God.
Romney was the first senator in U.S. history to vote to remove from office a president of the same political party.
Wow,
that was the first impeachment.
They call him Gunna. So Trump says, fantastic news for America, the great state of Utah, for the Republican Party. Mitt Romney, sometimes referred to as Pierre Delecto, will not be seeking a second term in the U.S. Senate, where he did not serve with distinction. A big primary fight against him was in the offing, but now that will not be necessary. Congrats to all. Make America great again. So Trump, he didn't like being voted Mitt Romney voting to impeach him. So clearly he doesn't forget anything, man. Do you think this will be the first one of many big name senators to step down?
I fucking hope so. Mitch McConnell, he was praising Romney for his work in the Senate, but he's another one. Get the fuck out of here, man, with your little freezing shit that you're doing. Like, you old and you had injuries. Go away.
Yeah, man. They actually asked Mr. McConnell to weigh in on this, and he said, "Where am I?" That shit is so sad, yo. Actually,
no more questions. We have to take him out.
Take him out on a fucking stretcher. Yo, this is crazy.
Man. It's terrible.
Yeah, I got the audio.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute.
Need a minute, yo. He needs to just retire. So hopefully Mitt Romney inspires some of the old ass politicians to follow his lead and retire, because he's not even that old. But
the average age of the U.S. Senate is 65 years old.
Damn, isn't that like the official age to be a senior citizen?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, we got a bunch of old people running the world or running the country when the world is burning. But what are you gonna do? We'll see what happens, man. Joe Biden said he's running for re-election in 2024, and he's 80? He'll be 81, I think, this year, yo. So he's already the oldest president in history. He wants 4 more years. But Franklin Foer, Foer, Franklin Foer, this guy's the author of the book The Last Politician.
Yep.
He said on Meet the Press that he wouldn't roll out, the 80-year-old commander-in-chief withdrawing from seeking a second term because of the president's strong belief in fate.
Yeah. He said that Biden's a very religious guy, and fate is a word loaded with religious meaning, and he always talks about it. He can't say where fate goes. And so I always, when I hear that, to me, it's the ellipsis in the sentence when he's talking about his own future. I mean, listen, he's old as... Let me be respectful. My dad's 80 years old too. But I wouldn't vote for him to be president. I just wouldn't. Like, I don't understand my dad, he worked all the way until he was 80 years old, and then he was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm finally done.
Yeah.
But granted, he wasn't trying to run a country that has a crazy GDP and starts wars every other year. Like or is funding the current war with Ukraine and Russia. Like, it's just sometimes you gotta read the writing on the wall.
Yeah, I don't know what fate has to do with anything, especially with this old ass man. I think what Mitch McConnell, is doing is that's all we're going to see if President Biden wins re-election. Like, he's just going to be freezing up there. They're going to keep him out of the limelight. I mean, he just started getting back out there maybe like last year. I mean, he won the first election from campaigning from his basement. So who knows? Troy, do you think that there's a chance he'll pull out before 2024?
No, I don't think so. Not realistically.
Yeah.
You think he's too stubborn?
Yeah.
Gonna sit in there.
Probably too stubborn. Who are they going to prop up after him?
Yeah.
Who has a chance?
Yeah, that's the big problem. Yeah. Because the Republicans, they got a deep field. Now, do I think they're all shitheads? Yeah. But I don't really see the Democrats having too many possible replacements or candidates or anything. So I don't know. They said 2/3 of Democrats, about 73% of registered voters, believe Biden's too old to seek re-election.
God damn, that's ridiculous. That should tell you something. But they don't give a fuck about the people. And all the Democrats are just lining up behind him. No, people can go up to challenge him, but they won't. No one's going to be like traitor Mitt Romney and go against their own party because they want to protect themselves. But hey, you got to be like Gunna sometimes and just be like, I'm going to do this on my own, Gunna, he sold out Barclays over the weekend, and he had that shit rocking.
Good for him. Good for him.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I really, President Biden, I told you not to run in the first place. I really asked. I begged you not to do it. And of course you did it. So you still have time to, you haven't done a terrible job. I think you've done a pretty good job with what you were given. You held it down. So please just don't run again. Like, I'm begging you, man. Just go off into the sunset. Go retire. You and Mitch McConnell can go stare into each other's eyes at the retirement home. And eat your soft serve food, early bird special. You shouldn't be going through all this stress. Like, it's not right.
Special. What is this, Perkins? Like, listen, I don't think, but you figure we're a year and 2 months away from the election right now. If he's not going to run, he has to announce that, like, now, so that the Democrats can figure out what they're doing and start to build support behind some top candidates. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's getting too close. Yeah, too close. I think it's extremely reckless for him to run again. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. I don't know, man. Mitch McConnell can't even answer that question, like, literally. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, but maybe our next president will be a fucking alien, because in Mexico, man, they showed some evidence today, man. 2 bodies with only 3 fingers on each hand and elongated ET-style hands were displayed in window boxes Tuesday for a public congressional hearing on unidentified anomalous
phenomena. I don't even know UAPs. I've never even heard that term before. The corpses are, quote unquote, between 700 and 1800 years old, with the X-rays showing one has mysterious eggs inside.
They're full of shit. There's no way that ET was real this whole time. Like, what? I'm going to be mad because that means Alien versus Predator is real too.
You got to relax.
I'm just saying. Hollywood always gets the juice. They know everything ahead of time. It's not fair. It's not fair. I don't like it.
Bro, this shit came out of nowhere, but Mexico, they're taking it seriously. The hearing aimed to rule on the phenomenon in the aerial space protection law, which would turn Mexico into the first country in the world to acknowledge the presence of aliens on this planet.
I mean, would they really be though? Because the U.S. just announced we've seen all these different UFOs. I mean, granted, UFOs are technically flying objects and not on the planet, but
those are two different things. I mean, they actually did show like videos of UFOs in this presentation as well. But I think the difference is like verbally or documenting that you acknowledge life outside of Earth. Which, I mean, acknowledging UFOs, I mean, that just, like you said, like it's an unidentified flying object. It could be anything. You don't know if there's a life form flying the object, but this will be a step further. They'd be the first ones, man. Would you be surprised that Mexico is the first one to acknowledge aliens? Because a lot of the aliens that come here, they go through Mexico.
Wait a second. Listen. Oh, that was crazy. Listen, I think that it would be really crazy if you fucked me up with that. It would definitely be crazy if Mexico really announces that, hey, there's unidentified animal, whatever the fuck they're calling this, UAPs.
Yeah, Troy, I know a couple of years ago you dressed up, you and Shannon as alien. Do you believe in this stuff?
I think there probably is life out there. I don't think that these paper mache aliens are real though. They look fake as shit.
They do, right? The like, granted, if they're saying it's 700 years old, I could see it getting all shriveled up like this, but where did they find these? They haven't given any real information other than, oh, here's these ET looking things with eggs inside of them. They haven't said anything else about where they found them other than, oh, it was found in Peru.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe this shit. I think people have 3D printers and too much time on their hands. But hey, if it's real, shout out to the aliens. Also, you're invited to come on this couch too. We'd love to talk to you.
But what are the chances that the aliens really look exactly the way that they show them in movies all the time?
Yeah, it seems like bullshit. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, come on.
Crazier things have happened.
I feel like you want this to be real, like the way you wanted Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg to fight. Like, you want to believe this.
I mean, I find it really hard to believe that in the whole galaxy, universe, all the different things that are out there, that human beings are the only intellectual life forms.
Or the only life forms. That's what they say. It doesn't even have to be intellectual. They said there's no life outside of Earth.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe it at all.
Yeah, I don't either. But there's other galaxies and dimensions and other shit that we don't know. We don't even know what's in our ocean. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Like mermaids, like,
they're down there. They are there. Atlantis is there somewhere.
Yeah. Speaking of aliens, Elon Musk, his dad, he's worried he's gonna get assassinated, So, we talked about Elon and his dad last year. They had some public back and forth. His dad, Earl Musk, ended up apologizing to Elon. Elon was on record responding, saying his dad was a horrible human. But yeah, it doesn't stop Errol Musk from being worried about his son. The 77-year-old criticized a recent article in the New Yorker that explored the world's richest influence on government decisions about the war in Ukraine and Elon's influence in that war. So he said they're putting a target on his back. You know, they also reference some Elon being followed by security guards like at all times, even at, you know, the Twitter headquarters and other things, man. Do you think that there's a point to this? Do you think it's dangerous to kind of tie him into like interfering into, you know, world conflicts? Or do you think that just comes with the territory of being like Elon Musk?
I understand what his dad is saying. Like, granted, there's plenty of billionaires that have the possibility of being assassinated or for whatever reason. But I think Elon's done this to himself. You know, he's the one that volunteered and said, oh, yeah, I can set up high-speed Wi-Fi in Ukraine so that they can be able to fight the war against Russia. Like, he's the one that volunteered the Starlink satellites. Nobody made him do that, and I don't think anybody asked him to do that. He wanted an opportunity to show off this new technology that he's been working on so that he can use this as a jumping board and make this global in terms of the way that he's using the satellites. So if there's anybody to blame, it's his son, Elon. Like, I have no sympathy for him with this fact. Like, you ingrained yourself into this war, and whatever happens, if Putin decides to target you because you're helping Ukraine, that's on you.
Yeah, I agree. Elon does all this shit, you know, to himself. I mean, for better or worse, you know, we always find a reason to talk about him. I think he's obsessed with staying in the press and interfering in things. He wants to put his name out there. He's aware of his, I guess, legacy. That's a big reason why he bought Twitter, so he could have more of a
control over the message.
Yeah, over the narrative. So, you know, I don't know. I would be surprised if, you know, if he ever got like assassinated. But I feel like if there's one billionaire out there who was going to get assassinated, it'd probably be him, because he talks a lot of shit. Like, he doesn't really behave like a typical billionaire. Like, he behaves like someone who just, you know, wants to be a celebrity. And, you know, I don't know how that will work. You know what I mean? When you have these people, these powerful people out there who might want you dead, it could be scary.
I mean, he wants to be a celebrity, and he also wants to influence global issues. And those two things, they kind of have a nasty way of like blowing back on you.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Bezos with his acquisition of Washington Post. That was a whole big mess too. Look at Facebook and Meta and everything that's happening with Zuckerberg. How many times has Congress brought him up to talk in front of them and explain whatever the fuck is going on? Like, these billionaires, they play a lot of different games, and it opens you up for different sorts of issues.
And consequences. Yeah, people play games. You know, games have consequences. One game that's been popular, man, is the one chip challenge, man. These chips were pulled off the shelves after, you know, one teenager died after eating one of them in high school. I think he went to the nurse's office and complained about a bad stomach ache after eating. I don't know how many chips. Did he eat more than one?
I think he just ate one.
Yeah, because they'd sell the chip in like a coffin. Like it's packaged in a coffin.
Well,
and with the skull on the front. You know, the product's label warned that children, pregnant people, those with underlying health issues, people sensitive to spicy foods, and people who are allergic to peppers, nightshades, or capsaicin, I don't even know what that is, should avoid the chip. You know, people should seek medical assistance if they experience difficulty breathing, fainting, or extended nausea after eating the chip, the warning said. So there was a warning. You know, they don't know the cause of death, as, you know, they haven't revealed the autopsy results yet. But, you know, he's a 14-year-old kid. You know, his family, they spoke out against the chip because they heard that he ate this chip and he later died, man. Do you think that like the chip really killed the kid? Like, and do you think that they'll ever like recover from this and put them back on shelves? Because I feel like this kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's done for this chip.
Yeah, it might be done. I think they're probably going to find some sort of correlation between either some prior medical situation that the young man had, and how it got triggered by this chip or something. I don't know. But it includes the two hottest peppers in the world, the Carolina Reaper and the Naga Viper. And would you ever eat one of these?
Nah, man. Both
Never?
of those names, Reaper, Viper, they both sound deadly. Coffin packaging with the skull on the front. It all kind of spelled it out for me. Like, I don't know, man. This kid definitely failed the one chip challenge, but R.I.P.
Damn, man. The challenge has been around since 2016. I didn't know it's been that long.
Damn, I didn't even know about it until someone died from it. But
Yeah,
that's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible way to go out. I'm not really into spicy food like that to begin with. But yeah, I don't know. Have you ever done any of these challenges, like the cinnamon challenge or anything like that? Like,
no, man, I'm good on that stuff. I will say I like trying spicy foods, but there's levels to it. Like when I watch hot ones, I'm always like, oh man, I feel like that would be so cool to try. But then at the same time, I'm like, it just gradually gets hotter and hotter and hot. Like it's just 10 different hot sauces that progressively get hotter. It sounds insane.
yeah,
I don't know if I can do it. I don't know how many I would be able to finish.
yeah, man. We all know, cheeseburger once took you out, so you got to be careful,
man. Yeah, 30 burgers in what was that, in Linden?
Damn, name dropping.
Yeah, be careful there, everybody. 30 burgers in Linden. I got food poisoning. That was like 2 years ago now, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was a bad story, man. Tragedy, man. Be careful about these challenges. Troy, have you ever done any of these challenges like that?
So there's that Hot Ones board game or like question game where you have to answer these questions. If you don't answer, you have to take a little dab of like one of their hottest hot sauces.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done that before, and it was spicy for sure. And I mean, if this thing didn't kill people, rest in peace to the victim. I would probably try it. I am curious in trying spicy things. When I was in New Orleans a few years ago, they have like all these hot sauce shops where you literally just like take a little toothpick or a chip and you can try like these spicy sauces. And Shannon and I were there for like probably a half hour just like trying them. It was painful. By the end, they're like, "What are we doing?" But I do like challenges like that. It is fun seeing how far I can push myself with something like that. So I would be open to it.
Yeah, I like it too. I do. I think the hottest thing that I've probably had was when we went to Cabo earlier this year. I got some Diablo chicken or some shit, and my mouth was hot. Like it was nuts. No, it was Diablo shrimp. That's what it was. Oh, but it had me cooked for like a solid 30-45 minutes.
Damn, yeah. I don't really fuck with shit like that personally, but I don't know. Like, do you think, because when someone dies for something like this, it can make the challenge more popular. Do you think people got their hands on it? And do you think there's like an aftermarket for this, like since they pulled it off of shelves? Because, when Four Locos got pulled off of shelves, I stocked up on that
crazy. Yeah, everybody was buying cases. No, honestly, I did think about the same thing. I was like, maybe I should try to order it. But you can't even get it. Like on their website, they have a recall. Basically, you can get refunds from them for if you've bought it.
Who would do that? Yeah, I would hold on to my killer chip, and that's history.
I don't know, but it's sad.
It is. R.I.P. to the victim. He's 14 years old. We don't really know the cause of death, but we do know he ate that chip, and that's crazy. I didn't even know they were selling shit like that. Like I had no idea. Yeah. But yeah. In more news, man, I think we talked about this lady, this New Jersey teacher, man.
I think we did too before.
Every time I see an article about her, I'm going to want to talk about her. But,
I wonder why.
This New Jersey-based educator, Roxana Diaz, she's big on Instagram. I think she has like a million followers. Right. And, she gets a lot of criticism for her outfits. The comments call her inappropriate. But she is an educator. I think most of her income probably comes from like social media and such because of her outfits. Yeah. Yeah, what did you think? Because they're calling it inappropriate. Do you find her attire inappropriate?
Listen, I don't think it's fair the way that people are trying to assassinate this woman's character. She is an art teacher. And what is the greatest piece of art in the world other than the human body?
Wow, that's deep.
I just want to know. Like, listen, now I've said it before. I do think that she should be tagging and promoting the doctors that made her the woman that she is today. But if she doesn't, she's got everything going for her. And her skin is covered up. She's not wearing anything that's really crazy. It's just her body is quite voluptuous.
Yes.
And she can't do anything about that. This is who she wanted to be. She's an attractive woman. She's teaching kids, you know, the right things and whatever those things might be. And she said that they ask her for homework in the summer. They're like, oh, we want to get ahead in class and things like that. She's doing a great job.
Yeah, she is. Actually, I would like to join this art class because I need to brush up on my painting and drawing skills. So Roxana, if you have any openings, let us know, because I would love to join your art class and learn how to paint. But what do they want her to wear? Even if she wore a dress or something, I'm sure she'd still look hot.
Exactly. You just want her to walk around in a trash bag? What is she supposed to do? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's not right. It's not right.
And here's the thing that's also messed up. You know, they say that, oh, this is distracting, it's inappropriate. What about the teachers that are super fat? Are they distracting and inappropriate? What about them?
No, I wouldn't say that, but
they're not distracting and inappropriate.
I would say no, but I'm saying I don't think either. Well, you know what? I can't lie. That art teacher's mad distracting. I would learn shit.
To you, you're a grown man. What grade does she teach? She teaches little kids.
I mean, me from the time I've been in school, I don't think I'd be able to pay attention personally. But hey, it would make school more fun. I didn't like school. If all my teachers looked like her, I would have straight A's every year.
Yeah, I'm gonna be working hard.
We need more hot teachers, I think. I think that would fix some of the education problems in this country. We've been falling off.
Well, they need to pay teachers. I mean, that's the one thing that was also surprising to me. She could make so much money if she just wasn't a teacher. If she did something else. And I could understand people having a problem with her if she was a teacher by day and then hitting the strip club and dancing at night, or doing a OnlyFans page or something like that. I could understand you trying to come for this lady, and assassinate her character. But right now she's not doing anything. You click her little link tree that she has art classes, she has different resources for kids, all types of educational stuff. Leave this woman alone.
Leave her alone. She's doing what's best for the community. And yeah, shout out to her. I think she makes a lot of money. She has 1 million followers, so she makes money outside of it. And a lot of people use these day jobs, as, I don't know, she's the hot teacher. So people follow her because of that. So, but also she gives back. She said teaching is a job that, she works Monday to Monday, which, I mean, you're an art teacher. How hard is it?
Listen, it's hard to get kids to focus, especially in a class like art or something like an extracurricular that's not really important.
Especially when your ass is that fat. It's super hard to focus. That's crazy. But hey, shout out to her. Yeah, she should be able to teach a class and, post whatever she wants on Instagram. I don't think she's posted anything like you said, with her skin showing or anything crazy or stripping.
There's nothing crazy. Granted, is her ass in every picture? Yeah, but that can't be helped. It can't be helped, all right? That's her body.
She needs the full body pictures, to get the likes.
Matter of fact, if you do scroll, then you see the Puerto Rican flag pictures with the bikini and stuff. But,
can you show me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
She got a couple, but I had to scroll 3 times to get down there. Everything else she's got clothes on. Yeah. Let her live.
Let her live, yo. Yeah, it's
y'all
hard.
mad because she got a 20-inch waist and a 50-inch booty.
Oh, man. You know who's mad? Stephen King's wife. She threatened to divorce him for playing Mambo number 5 too often. Now, the classic 90s hit.
What?
Yeah. Do you know that song?
Yeah. Play it for us.
I don't want to ruin the live, but I'll play a little bit.
Yeah, just play 20 seconds, 15 seconds.
To the liquor store around the corner. The boys say they want some gin and juice, but I really don't wanna be a buzz like. And if it looks like this, then you better marry all night long. A little bit of Jessica, here I am. A little bit of you makes me your man.
Yes.
She's just mad that Tabitha's not a name that's on that song.
Tabitha. It shouldn't be either.
Exactly. Look at this lady. She's just hating.
Oh, man. Stephen King's hilarious, yo. He said, my wife threatened to divorce me. I played that song a lot before adding. He said, I had the dance mix. I love those extended play things, and I played both sides of it, and one of them was just totally instrumental. King continued, I played that thing until my wife just said, one more time, and I'm going to fucking leave you.
Wow.
Yo, like, have you ever annoyed, like, someone you were dating enough that they would want to leave you? Or has anyone annoyed you enough where you had to tell them to stop playing a song or stop watching this or stop talking to you about something? Have you ever had to draw a boundary like that? Because this would drive me fucking crazy too. Like, he's had every version over and over. Like, I don't even like imagine listening to that song like on repeat. That's insane.
That sounds like a special kind of torture. That's what it
Sounds like a Stephen King book. Like, that's why he's fucked up.
Yeah, no, that's never happened to me. But I mean, listen, they've been married since 1971.
Damn.
And I'm sure that they have gotten on each other's nerves more than a few times.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yo, Troy, would this drive you crazy too? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I do love the song, but hearing it nonstop like that, I'd be like, you got to stop.
Yeah, that's like when you go into a or for example, if you work at like a clothing store, they have the same soundtrack of 20 songs that just repeat nonstop, and after a while, it's just like, oh my god.
bro, I worked at Six Flags Great Adventure here in New Jersey, and one day I worked in merchandise. So I was working in the stores, and like I realized like I knew the theme parks like playlists, like because one song ended and then I started singing the next song, and I realized I started challenging myself, like, oh, like, can you guess the next song? And I knew the entire fucking playlist.
No.
Yeah, like the worst part,
They didn't mix it up at all. I don't understand that.
why would they? You know what? The one time they did mix it up, which wasn't really them mixing it up, I had to fucking work in the Wiggle store for a day.
Wiggle store. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I worked there for one fucking day, and they played like the same like 5 fucking songs, like the Wiggles. And by the end of the shift, I knew every song word for word, and I was like freaked out. I mean, I've always been able to memorize songs and stuff, but yeah, if I had to work in that store every day, I'd be a different person.
Were you able to like wear headphones or put in earplugs or anything, or no?
No, this was like before Bluetooth stuff, but even so, like they would have like secret shoppers come and watch us and snitch on us if we were on our phones or hadn't. Like, no, like you had to just sit there and live with it.
How do you become a secret shopper at Six Flags? Do you have to like get promoted to that or what?
Bro, I don't know. I'm not no snitch. Troy, yo, you worked at Kmart, yo. Like, did you memorize the songs?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's still certain songs that I hear on the radio that like I get like PTSD flashbacks. I'm like, oh my god, I know every word to this corny ass song. It drives me crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I would threaten divorce too if my wife was playing the same corny ass song over and over. I mean, I've dated people who have different music tastes than me. People who like High School Musical and shit. And I just don't have I don't have a tolerance for it. I'm sorry. Like I like certain things, like, like I listen to Grease. Like I grew up on, certain musicals and stuff, but like, nah, I'm not doing like Taylor Swift. I'm not doing High School Musical. I'm not doing a lot of it, but hey, to each their own, happy wife, happy life.
That's so funny. Mambo number 5.
Yeah, happy wife, happy wife, happy life. This one man was exposed by a prostitute in Sydney, Australia. She filmed him without his consent.
It's crazy.
Sent the video to his fiance before unexpectedly turning up to an intersection and getting into his car while he was on his way to work.
I feel like there's got to be more to this story. Because how did she know exactly what intersection to be at to catch him before he could get to work?
Well, they had a relationship since 2018. Her name is Brooke Ariel Grace Baker, which someone with that many names is fucking insane. She sent the man 244 texts within 5 hours and made 87 attempted calls after having been ordered by a court to not contact him. The 31-year-old was found guilty last December of 2 counts of intentionally recording an intimate image without consent. He was going down on her. She recorded it, sent that to his fiance. They both reported this woman. But yeah, that's why you can't have an extended relationship with a prostitute. But hey,
she fell in love. I don't know what that dude was doing to her, but he had her fucked up. Like she ain't even want to be a hoe no more. I'm serious. She wanted the life that his fiance had, and that's why she tried to burn it.
Yeah. Do you think that he screwed up? Like, because for me, it's just like if you're getting a prostitute, you're getting a prostitute to pay for the sex without having the emotional connection. Why have a long-standing affair with someone you're paying for? That just leads to trouble.
I don't know. I mean, I've never been in that situation, but I have to assume that maybe you get comfortable with that person and it's like, all right, this is the hoe I'm going to use up every time. And then, you guys talk or whatever. Like, I don't know.
I think it's ridiculous. If you're going to have an affair with someone trustworthy, not someone you have to pay. Because that's the whole point. Like, get different ones. Like,
is it really a trustworthy affair, though? I feel like that's contradictory.
What do you mean?
Like, if it's an affair, most likely the person knows that you're cheating on your partner. And that makes you already not trustworthy because you're cheating on your partner.
What are you talking about? The trustworthy affair is someone who's not going to run their mouth and record you going down on them and emailing
How do you
to
know
your
that,
wife.
though? How do you know that?
People have affairs and they have an understanding like, okay, we're not going to tell nobody. You don't do that with like a prostitute.
What's that show that HBO and Prime both had a Candy. You didn't see it? Candy? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know you're talking about with Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes. So they had a whole agreement. They came up with a plan, all this type of shit, and then she fucked around and killed his wife.
That's crazy.
Because she caught feelings. It happens. It's hard to fight against that kind of stuff.
Bro, that's fucking TV. And
that's based on a real story.
Yeah, but the ones that don't come out are the ones that are trustworthy. They don't make a movie because no one ever finds out. Like, so
this is true.
You don't do that
true.
with a prostitute. That's the thing. Like, to me, okay, you can't trust somebody, but you should know not to trust the person you're freaking paying, like, for years. Like, that's the one person that you shouldn't do. It makes no sense. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, listen, it doesn't say that his fiance left him. So shout out to her for being a ride or die through all this nonsense.
Yeah, she didn't. She reported it with her man. You got to stay. So he does have a loyalty in his life. So, and yeah, she caught a case from it, not from the prostitution, but from the being a stalker, which is insane. You gotta protect yourself out there.
244 texts in 5 hours and 87 calls is crazy.
Have you ever dealt with anything like that?
Never. No, that's not for me.
I've been in similar situations, but not like that. Never no one exposing me or videoing me, but people like calling me and texting me, and you gotta be
what's the most texts or calls that you've gotten in a certain time frame?
I don't know. This is isolated moments. Mostly people who I was really close with and just kind of like left, and they're just like they need validation. They're like, oh, well, I'm gonna get to you one way or the other. It's just like within a span of hours, I'm just like, decline, text. I'm not answering. No, I'm good. But hell, nothing like this. So shout out to them. Hopefully, her getting charged and everything. She learns her lesson and finds love in her life outside of this. Yeah, it's hard to find love, yo. This one guy, he might have cracked the code though. He had the exact same date with multiple women. As a part of a controlled experiment. You ever hear of anything like this, yo?
No, but crazy enough, it like from a scientific perspective, it makes sense. But nah, that's kind of crazy at the same time.
It's definitely crazy. Yo. He had a system where he hosts his dates one after another. they'd happen Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Which, I feel like those are good trial days, to date.
But the crazy part is he would do the same, and it was like down to a T, the same exact thing. His roommate said he would buy in bulk, make lasagna for every single girl, and then they would all watch the same exact movie.
Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, which is one of my favorite movies. I think it's a great movie, but to watch that over and over with different girls is a little crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing about the experiment. I feel like it would be biased because, yes, you're doing the same thing with each of these women, but are you going to act the same way too, or how does that work? Because you've already experienced this date multiple times.
Have you never?
So isn't that like skewing the results of the experiment?
No, because you vibe differently with different people. Like I've gone on the same date with multiple people. I've gone on the same dates a lot of times. So
really? So is this you?
No, I don't cook lasagna, and I'm not watching the same fucking movie over and over. That's like not fun for me. But I go to the same places, Like okay. I like to go where I know it's going to be a good time.
Do you order the same drink and get the same food and stuff like that?
Of course, I fist bump the bartender and everything. They know me.
Yo.
They know me, but yeah, people have their go-to spots, right? This is a little bit different, and he's saving a lot of money. I could learn from him. I could do the same thing. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I definitely think it's a little weird. But yeah, his roommate said, he didn't even end up with one of these girls from this trial experiment. He instead he ended up dating a crazy girl, which. I feel like that's the end of a lot of stories. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds it sounds like he realized the experiment wasn't working for him. I don't know.
Yeah, or it sounds like that crazy girl, she know what they say about crazy girls. I don't know.
That is what they say about them. we can leave it at that.
They got the crazy, other things. But hey, I don't think there's a problem with taking someone on the same date. A little disingenuous maybe, but hey, you see how people react to different things. We all have watched, the same movies multiple times. Not days in a row, not eating the same meal days in a row, but hey, I don't know. I think it's a pretty good strategy, honestly.
I don't know, man. I think for me, I like to try different things with different people. But at the same time, I understand the comfortability of like knowing the place that you're going and having that environment where you know how to kind of set the vibe and set the mood. I could see that definitely working out, but I think this is a little bit extreme for him.
Yeah. Shout out to him. I wonder if he's still with that crazy girl. It's even crazier to do this with roommates. Like, other people are watching you do the same thing over and over. Have you ever witnessed someone like dating someone and that they're seeing someone else, or that, they did something with someone else and the other person doesn't know? Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been in that type of situation?
I don't think I've been in that situation. But no, not that. No.
I've definitely seen it, and it's always a little bit awkward. You kind of feel bad for the person, but at the same time, it's like, let them live. Let them enjoy themselves.
You got to. You got to. Everybody's got their own strategy for how to find love.
Yeah, yeah. And one strategy is using dating apps. You know, one dating app that's super popular is Bumble, and they made a big move, man. They actually banned ghosting.
People are so soft these days. This shit builds character. I don't know why they.
Ghosting builds character.
Yes. It makes you learn the hard way how to find, the signals, the red flags.
Yeah, Bumble is an app that, they the way that they got popular. I think the founder, she was working at Tinder and she started a Bumble, and she said, okay, our app, we're going to like prioritize like women, and women have to make the first move and message men first. I never had an account on Bumble. I know they have like a Bumble friend finder. That's called like Bumble BFF that a lot of like women use. I don't know if any men use that, but probably. I mean, they have a lot of users. But Bumble for me, like personally, I never signed up for it because like I don't want to be in a situation where the woman has to make the first move. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And it's not surprising that they would be the first app to ban ghosting. Now, their app's updated guidelines are intended to discourage no-show behavior through disallowing the act of not turning up to an in-person meetup despite clear plans agreed upon by both parties. Stood up singletons will now be able to use the in-app report feature to rat out offenders. A moderator will then fact check the claim before taking action.
How are they going to fact check?
Look through the messages. Look through the messages, and then I guess, I don't know, show the empty ass chair across from you at the dinner table when no one showed up. Like, that's crazy.
I don't like that. Because I feel like that's an invasion of privacy then. Like, if you're just going to, fact check and then look through all the messages that I had with this person.
They do that anyway. These apps you sign over those rights when you sign up for the app.
That's true. That's a good point. But I don't know. I think this is excessive. I think people are way too soft. If somebody ghosts you and doesn't show up to the date, then don't talk to that person anymore and move on. Like, that's what happens in real life. If you met somebody and then they didn't show up, like, what are you going to do? Who are you going to report them to? Like, this is stupid.
Yeah, but you meet them on the app, and the app is, trying to make people feel safe. That was their priority to begin with, So, but that's why for me, like, I'll never be on Bumble. I feel like that's the corniest place in the world. Like, hell no. Like, no. Like, that's just not a place that I would want to meet somebody new. But it's worked for some people. And some people, it does suck being stood up, man. I've been stood up, but hey, I take it on the chin. It is what it is. I'm not going to report nobody. Like I said before, I'm not no fucking snitch. But, people out there, they get their feelings hurt. They put themselves out there. And especially, people's they have to work themselves up to meet somebody new, to, get dressed and go out. Like, it's a whole thing for some people. So I get them trying to regulate it. I think it's just not the app for me. And I hope other apps don't follow suit to start regulating dates and other things. We already talked about the fucking chaperones that be on dates. I think this is a step further than that.
Yeah, there's too much. There's too much of this going on. I don't like it. People have to have some sort of mental fortitude and understanding that life happens, things happen. Move on.
Yeah, Troy, what do you think about this? Do you think it's good?
Honestly, I'm kind of indifferent. I see the pros and cons. It does suck if you're not successful dating. You think you get a match, you go get all dressed up, guy or girl, for a date, and you just stood up. That could do a lot to your mental health. So if you're trying to prevent that, sure, but at the same time, it can be an invasion of privacy. Like, you don't want these apps, do have your data and stuff, but you don't want it to be that obvious. So it is what it is. I'm not on those apps, so doesn't really affect me. But yeah, I see the pros and cons.
Yeah, people be smart. Like, any of these apps, they have their terms and conditions. Like, you have to behave. Like, behave yourself. Like, don't be an asshole. Like, so that's just rule number one. But people get banned off these apps for, because some people just be bitter because they don't, hear back from a person, or they don't hear what they want to hear. So there's always going to be a place for snitches, and they want to keep their users happy. So this is just a way for us to talk about them, because every day these apps are coming up with new algorithms, new features. We talked about the one group dating site that you had recommended me before you knew what it was about.
What was it called? Field?
Yeah, Field. You look it up, it's like it has like 20 different like definitions of how you identify, and it's just like advertised as like, oh, meet other couples, and it's just like, hell,
the dating app for open-minded individuals.
The dating app for Wayne Brady. Yo, when the Joe Budden podcast was talking about Wayne Brady coming out as a pansexual, Joe Budden literally said, "Oh, it includes animals." Like, man, it's fucking. What is he on?
Joe is crazy. Every once in a while, he reminds us just how stupid he is and that he didn't finish high school. Like,
animals, though, he was dead serious. He's like, no, it includes animals. Like, why would that include animals? But hey, man, speaking of animals, Eagles star, he met his wife on Tinder, man. Your boy,
Jason Kelce.
He met his wife on Tinder, and he explained their first date, man. He showed up wasted.
He did.
When did you find out the guy you fell in love with on Tinder was a Neanderthal, just an absolute disgusting human being?
It was pretty evident the first time we hung out. We fell asleep 45 minutes after I got there on the bar table because he was too drunk.
Not a good first date.
And then Bo Allen accomplished the most impressive physical feat of his life when he fireman carried Jason back to his apartment.
Shout out to Honey Bobo.
Exactly. He emphasized that someone who's dead weight is difficult to carry, but Jason fought him the whole way.
Even harder than dead weight.
Physically fought him the entire way.
I was wiggling free. I was making it difficult for him. It became a challenge. Definitely fell asleep, a little bit too inebriated. I was sober enough to know it was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen in my life. Love at first sight.
He doesn't even believe in love at first sight.
I didn't until I met you.
Oh, man. Shout out to New Heights, Travis, and Jason Kelce. I listen to their show every once in a while. It's pretty good. Pretty good stuff they're doing.
How much does he weigh? Like, he's over 300, right? He gotta be close.
He's not that big. He's not that big. He's probably like 260, 275, something like that.
That's close, man. Yeah. That's pushing it, bro. He's a big ass dude.
He's an undersized center, actually. He's one of the smaller centers in the league, but he's a beast.
Big as fuck to be wasted. How much do you think he had to drink to be wasted like that on the first date?
Probably like 20 beers, 15, 20, something like that.
That's nuts, yo. I mean, he said on his Tinder profile, he didn't put that he was an NFL player on the Eagles.
He didn't. Yeah.
Do you think that she knew? Because he said, "Oh, she didn't know." Like, but I don't know.
When I was listening to that episode, it seemed like she really didn't know. Like, the only picture that he had that remotely could have told someone was like a screenshot of him on TV, but it didn't show like the scoreboard underneath or anything like that. It was just him, and it was preseason, so he didn't even have his uniform on.
So he showed himself on TV though, so he's doing something, right? Like, why else would he put that on?
That's what you would think. That's what you would think. But,
I mean, it's smart. Like, why not? Like, because I'm like, why would she even accept this behavior if she didn't know that this man was a fucking millionaire? Like, come on.
Well, it was also early in his career. I think it was still on like rookie contract stuff, and he was a late pick. He didn't get a lot of money.
Bro,
but
come
still.
on. Like, he's in his early 20s. They still have $1 million contracts. They still have hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I think he's pretty well off. And I think that definitely is a reason why she, I don't know, would be cool with that. Have you ever been drunk on a first date like that?
When me and Nat had our first date, we both got drunk together. Yeah.
And you also met on Tinder too.
Yeah, we did. That was such a crazy, like, dude, we were together for like 9 hours on our first date. It was so sick.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, it was crazy.
A love story, just like this. But that day we were only talking for 45 minutes. So.
Yeah, for sure. That's really crazy.
That is crazy.
So the second date was much better though. He didn't black out or fall asleep.
That's insane. I've been drunk on a first date one time. Well, like, to start off. because one time, we had our happy hour event, back at Genius headquarters when Jenna worked there. And afterwards, I was like, I'm going out with the girl. And, it was open bar, bro. Like, what am I going to do? I was like, I'm only going to drink beer. But I had a lot of beers. And I met up with this girl. She was a flight attendant. She was, like, from Denmark. And I'll never forget because beforehand, I was like, yeah, she's from Denmark. Or they like, you're like, oh, that's the Netherlands, right? They're Dutch. So I said that to her. And she was like, no, it's not true. Like, I was just like, oh, shit, my friend. We've been drinking. He gave me wrong info.
I didn't know.
It didn't even matter because I had no place to go, but I did know one rooftop that was walking distance. And I remember we were in the city and some guy like stopped his car and he was like, hey, like you should come out with me. Fuck that guy. And I was like, fuck you. And I was like, oh yeah, welcome to New York. It was funny because she was wearing like heels and had a dress on and I just had on jeans and a t-shirt.
You were super casual and drunk.
Yeah, drunk and casual, the best. But New York, you can go dress casually if you know where you're going, if you look good, if you're beautiful. But like, so we went. I had a couple of drinks. I ended up spilling my drink on the floor, but she was still cool with me after the fact. But I did wish I didn't try to pack on too much.
Shout out to Genius, man. We had some really good times at those parties.
Yeah, I definitely have done that again, but it worked out better the next time I did that. I went out with someone after those events.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to them. That was a drunk first date that ended in a marriage. So you never know.
Yeah.
Some people in marriages can be very possessive over each other. Man, this one waitress, she called out this woman who she left a tip. On a $32 bill, man. The tip read, "Don't call my husband sweetheart." No money. She just said, "Don't call my husband sweetheart," which, a lot of people found that to be rude. Now, people expected the, 20% tip, $6, which honestly, come on, that's not much. But this woman took offense to her husband being called sweetheart. What do you think about this? We've seen like people be rude to like wait staff. We've talked about this and, people splitting bills and doing other things on dates, but this seemed really odd to me.
Yeah. I mean, clearly there's something else going on in that relationship and she's taking it out on this waitress because I feel like it's pretty normal to hear, depending on age or anything, honey, sweetheart, sweetie, sugar, like those are things that you hear, especially if someone's a little bit older as a waitress. I've even heard it from younger people though.
Yeah, I'm assuming this person was probably younger because this woman obviously felt very threatened.
Yeah.
But what do you make of this, man? Like, what do you think about the husband? You think like
maybe he's got wandering eyes. I don't know. Why else would she get this mad about it? Like, she's clearly insecure about something, either because of something he's done or because of her or what she looks like, or I don't know, but clearly something triggered her.
I think it was her having to pay
over a $32 bill. Like,
because she had to pay for it. Like, he couldn't even do that. Like, so clearly she wears the pants in this relationship. She has that man on a leash, and clearly he's not allowed to be called sweetheart.
Maybe he just gives her the cheap bills to pay. Like, I think that's fair in a relationship. Like, women can contribute too. I don't think that's a crazy thing to have your wife pay a $32 bill at a diner. Like,
it's not a crazy thing when they tip, not when they try to claim you and piss on you. Like, that's where the leash comes in. I tie those two things together because to me it's like, why is she in control of this? Like, I would never go out with anybody and let them not tip unless something like really terrible happens. I always tip, especially writing something down like that. That's so lame. Like, do you think that he knew that she did this?
I don't know. He might not have known. Or maybe he did. Guys, if you felt strongly enough to write that in the tip line, I find it hard to believe that his wife wasn't trying to rip his head off through the whole process.
Yeah, I'm sure this shit happens to him all the time. Like, this has to be an ongoing thing. That shit is not normal. Like, I don't know. Have you ever gotten offended by someone, like, you know, being a little bit too friendly to someone you were out with.
What, like a waiter?
Anyone. Like, I mean, anyone in the serve, like a bartender or anyone, you know, you go on vacations and stuff like that. Like, or has that happened vice versa?
No, usually if I can tell that like a bartender or wait staff is like interested in my girl, I'm like, yo, try to get us some free shit. Like, like, listen, be nice to this guy so we can get some free drinks. Get us some shots. Like something like that. But other than that, no. I mean, I'm never going to see them again. It's not a big deal.
So you try to pimp out your girl for some free drinks.
Let's not use the word pimp. I'm not Adam 22 over here. I'm just saying, listen, get us a free shot.
Listen, I mean, you know, your girl was propositioned in a bathroom at Barclays Center for a lighter.
That is
she
true.
told you that. You said, did you get the lighter?
Well, I thought that she came to some sort of agreement for something else, not to like go down on this dyke chick in the bathroom. That's weird. Like,
oh my God. But that was your first reaction.
Women are crazy.
You didn't say anything about the woman asking her for that. You said, but did you get the lighter?
I thought it was funny. I think that's funny because it's so out of pocket that it's like, all right, well, clearly she wasn't serious, but I guess the woman was. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
I
weird.
don't know. I had to fight. I had to fight you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. I don't care if you're a woman. Like, you're not disrespecting my girl like that.
What am I going to do? Go find the chick? Like, come on. It's not that serious.
No, that's crazy. I mean, for me, like, no, I never try to like milk a situation out for like free shit. To me, like, it's a little, I don't feel good about myself, you know, having someone like hit on my girl and then give her a drink. Like, I remember when I was young, like my ex's friend, like her, man, she would be like, he was like, yeah, I let guys buy her drinks when we're out because I'm like, get one for me too. And I'm like, that's so lame. Like, I would never have my girl out there flirting with dudes, getting free drinks and giving them to me. Like, go work harder, bro. Like, for real. I don't know. I have a strong stance on that. I don't know, Troy. Like, what do you make of this? Like the tip and like, you know, people being a little bit too friendly.
I mean, if you can get something out of it, sure, I get it. You know, I've been out with Shannon and people are like, you know, trying to flirt with her, hit on her, buy her drinks and stuff. And occasionally she'll get a free drink out of it. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I'm not mad at it. I don't have to pay. I can pay, but you know, I don't have to. So I'll take it. It doesn't really bother me that much. You know, I know she's not really entertaining it like that. So it doesn't really bother me like that.
Yeah.
I feel you guys. Like, I get it. I don't know. It does bother me. But
I
this
think there's
not
levels
this
to the situation, though. There's levels to everything.
Not this situation, though. This situation is crazy. Like, someone being called sweetheart or just being, like, polite. Because especially, like, in the South, like, that's such a normal thing. Like you said, like, people say that type of shit all the time. So I think this woman is a psycho. And I think her husband's lame for letting her do that. Like, hell no. Like, come on. But, hey, that just seems to be their relationship. I don't know.
I don't know. Women are, you know, they get in their feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Who pays for dinner, right? Like, usually the man, I guess. This one man, he's a newlywed, you know. He went out with his wife.
Oh my God, this article.
He went out with his wife and her friends, you know, for a celebration dinner at a steakhouse that, you know, she picked out, man. She's really excited. You know, and, you know, she, when the bill came, she expected him to pay for the whole thing.
Yeah. So this bill was like $700 and they went out with her, four high school friends, 4 friends from high school, and they wanted to celebrate his wife and they went to some expensive steakhouse. But as they're, you know, eating and then, you know, they get the check, his wife slides it to him and says, the man should always pay for the wife and her friends. But he was like, nah, I'm going to pay for you, but that's about it. And then her friends start to roast this dude, calling him a broke husband. He got upset, threw down two $100 bills and left. Stormed out.
Damn, I mean, you know,
newlyweds.
How How old were they?
24, both of them. They're both 24. I have to assume the friends are similar age. And
yeah, if they're friends from high school.
So he left her too. Her friends, based on what the article's saying, her friends had to take her home. They continue to make fun of him on the ride home and in front of her. So, you know, she gets to the house and she's screaming at him, talking about how she's so embarrassed and all this kind of stuff. And once again, he decides to leave.
See a pattern.
Yeah, see, it seems like this is a trend, and like this marriage might not last too long. But he packed a bag, goes to his friend's house. He told his parents and friends, and they say that he should have just paid it. And now he's having second thoughts, like, am I an asshole? So, what do you think? You're married, newlyweds. You're taking your girl's friends out to eat with you, and they're like, "Nah, the bill is yours." Do you pay it?
I'm laughing the whole time. I'm like, no, I'm not paying for this shit. Broke bitches. Especially if they come at me, like start talking shit. I'm gonna say my piece and I'm gonna make my girl come back with me. I'm not gonna leave her.
Yeah. I think that's where he messed up. I think everything he did was fine, like saying, "Nah, I'm gonna pay for you." And then, ignore these chicks if they want to start ragging on you, talking about how you broke. Bitch, you broke, pay. Like, you ordered a meal, you ordered drinks, pay what you can afford.
Yeah, she was upset with him. She said that she told her friends that he was going to pay for them, but she didn't tell him.
Exactly. And that's the main person that you need to tell if that's what you're expecting.
Yeah, especially when it's $700. You're 24 years old. Like, that's not like a light bill. She picked up this expensive restaurant. No. That's really on her. And the fact that his family doesn't have his back, I see why he probably has emotional issues and can't handle this type of thing, because it seems like this is probably the dynamic of their relationship. She obviously just expects him to do things, and then he just runs off when he, is upset. So, sounds like a typical early 20s type of situation. I mean, if they were in their 30s doing this, or arguing over splitting the bill at Applebee's on TikTok or something, I'd be a little bit more judgmental. But honestly, I feel like anyone under the age of 25 should not be like allowed to get married. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think it's too early too. I see it all the time. When I talk to people that I'm trying to hire and things like that are younger, it happens more often than you think. People getting married under 25.
No, I know, like, especially in other places around the country.
Oh, yeah, the Midwest and all the way out to, like, Utah, Nevada, all those places. Yeah, it happens, like, all the time.
The fucking South Jersey, bro.
Yeah, that too.
Anywhere outside of, like, the major cities, it's normal for people to have kids earlier and get married earlier. But you're going to go through dumbass situations like this. I don't know, Troy, what did you make of this story, man?
No, I think this is a crazy one. I wouldn't do it. $700 is a lot of money, and to pay for someone's friends, absolutely not. I wouldn't leave my wife there. And I mean, once you should have just communicated it in the first place. Say, hey, you know what? Are you cool with picking up this bill or something? Then you could have like a conversation. Be like, no, I'm not doing it. Or they can pay for half or something to set the expectations from the first place. But no, I think he has every right to refuse to pay for that, because I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Let us know what you all think in the comments. We got some Mamm Graham saying he should divorce her. Listen, I think it's definitely all her fault that they even ended up in this situation and had this disagreement and her being embarrassed and all that kind of stuff. I don't agree with his way of handling it, but she should have talked to him beforehand. There's no way that you can just spring a $700 bill on somebody unless they make a lot of money. And this is the type of relationship you have where he's the one that always covers, for you and your friends to go out or something like that. But he said this has never happened before.
Damn, man, it's more of a sugar daddy type of relationship, which, that's not cool. No. You can't do that to someone you're with and not let them know. And it sounds like he doesn't have a lot of support in his life. No, but this is a crazy story to get that backlash. Like, hell no. I would think it was a joke if someone did that to me. And I'd be like, listen, don't bring me around your bum ass friends if they're gonna talk shit to me, because I'm not gonna be nice to them.
Yeah.
Because girls always tell their boyfriends all their friends' business. So he probably knows all the dirt. If he really they call him broke boy, he could be like, shut up, Tasha, that's why you got chlamydia from Mike.
And Mike is one of the other friends' husband. Like
all the dirt's coming out. Oh, hell no. No.
I feel bad for this guy. Listen, man, don't let her push you around like this. You're too early in the marriage to allow this. Put your foot down. Stop running away every time you guys have a conflict and settle that shit like a man.
Yes, make her pay for it and leave no tip and match it to the waitress. It's crazy how people don't know how to fucking cooperate outside. I mean, I know people were locked in the house for a while, and people are still adjusting to being out and stuff, but this shit is ridiculous, honestly.
It's a little bit crazy. It is definitely a little bit crazy.
Yeah, people don't know how to be outside, we always talk about, we like to travel, we love traveling, we go on a lot of flights. This one man, he was going on a trip with his girlfriend, and the mom, she's wondering if she was the asshole in this situation, because the man wanted to sit in first class with his girlfriend and have her teenage son sit and coach.
33 years old, and she wanted to get some opinions because basically they've been dating for 5 years, and she has a son. He's 13 years old, and her boyfriend was like, listen, homeboy, he can go sit and coach, and you can come up here in first class with me. He's 40 years old. He makes a significant amount more money than her, and typically they split the vacation costs. But she says that the problem is he does not want to let my child on the same class on the plane as us. He thinks that my child should be grateful to be getting an international trip and just enjoy the movies and whatever other amenities there are on the flight.
Yeah, man. She was upset with this. We talked about the one husband who said he was going to sit in first class by himself. At least he wants to be with her in first class, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This is the step up from the last guy we talked about.
I wouldn't say it's a step up, honestly, because they got to split the cost. That guy was probably paying for everything, the other guy. That's what I assumed. He's like, I pay for everything. I'll be in first class by myself, because that woman would have said they split it if that was a part of the story.
You know what? You're right. That's a good point. That is a good point. Plus, they were married as well.
Yes. Yeah, and she said, she'd probably prefer to downgrade her flight if her boyfriend is unwilling to split that cost. He thinks she's being weird for wanting to make that concession. It's not a big deal for a child to fly alone. He has a view where children might not appreciate the value of business class, and that his parents went on business class while he flew economy on his own. So he's
lived this, yeah.
He's speaking from experience, and honestly, she's wondering, is she being an asshole for being a helicopter parent? The boy is 13 years old. Does he really need his mom? I mean, it is a 9-hour flight, but what do you make of this?
Honestly, I can understand it from both sides, especially if this isn't something that she's used to, even though he is. Because at the end of the day, this is her son. This guy hasn't said I adopted the kid or anything like that. So I get where she's coming from, but at the same time, let the kid sit by himself. See what the kid wants. He's 13 years old. He's a young teenager. Maybe he's fine with being by himself, and coach, you can go check on him every couple hours or something like that. He's going to sit back there, go to sleep, and watch movies. That's it. You're not going to lose him on an airplane.
Yeah, honestly, it's ridiculous. You're a teenager. Grow up. You can't. When I was a 13-year-old, I would have preferred to be by myself. I don't need to be stuck up under my parents. Honestly, when we used to go on cruises and stuff, I was independent. I was off on my own. I don't need a chaperone. I love my independence, and I feel like people do coddle their kids too much. Let him be on his own. He'll learn to fly on his own. She didn't mention any medical issue or specific reason to be with him outside of just, he's a kid. He's 13 years old, So she's obviously, going to lead him to more problems, keeping him on her tit forever.
And I feel him, though. I'm not paying for a kid to sit in business class. It's not going to happen.
You got no business, bro. You make no money. How you be in business class and you don't make money? Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it won't happen. It won't happen. And people were going way too far into this. Redditors talking about, oh, I don't think I could deal with someone who actively disliked my children. That's never what she said.
He acted like he didn't want to include him on the trip. He's splitting the cost to bring him on the trip. Like,
exactly.
If he didn't like the kid, he'd be like, leave your kid at home. And honestly, if I'm going away as a couple, I would want to leave the kid at home anyway. So, whatever. I don't know. Troy, what did you think of this one?
So first, your mom has a lot to say about this. She's in the comments. She has a lot of opinions. I mean, I see both sides. Again, you don't want to spend extra money for the kid to sit up in business class. Like, I think you should just ask him, see what he wants to do, and then take it from there. If he wants to sit up there, that's another conversation. But, see what he wants first before you, ask Reddit and see what you should do. And if you're the asshole or not, that's what I would do.
Yeah, let's see. She said she has a lot to say. I'm gonna call her and see if she's ready.
Yeah, my mom said that they should fly together.
Hello?
Hello?
You said you have a lot to say, Mom. Welcome to the show. You're live on No Chill Live. We're just wondering, what's your opinion on this?
Well, the whole point in a relationship and starting a relationship is to make the other person happy.
Is it?
So, well, yeah. I mean, he should have asked her what makes her more comfortable about the situation where her child should sit in the plane. So if he's not willing to compromise, then she should run. That should be a red flag.
Well, the kid is 13. You don't think that's too old to have these type of problems about sitting alone?
I think it should be he should ask the question, not just dictate what was going to be done. If he cared about how she felt, then she wouldn't be asking this question. So my opinion that he doesn't care about her happiness.
Okay.
He just wants what he wants, and she should use, it should be a red flag for her.
Wow. Well, you are a mother, so, appreciate your opinion on this.
Yeah, it sounds like you're putting the child first and what the mom wants first, which I understand. But regardless of that aspect, do you think a kid can sit by himself in economy and the parents can sit in first class?
Absolutely, but it should be a conversation.
Okay.
I'm not saying a child should not have their independence, but he shouldn't dictate what that circumstance is. He should have a conversation and see what she wants and what the kid wants and compromise on that. If he's not willing to compromise, then he's not going to compromise on anything. So she should run.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for calling, Mom.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Love you. Talk to you later.
Love you too.
Bye.
All right. So, I still disagree. Fuck them kids.
I see where she's coming from, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you got two people that want to be in economy and he wants to be in business class, bite the bullet and just be in economy with them. Especially if you're trying to have a serious relationship and end up marrying this woman, and that's going to be your kid. That's your responsibility too.
I get it. I don't care. He needs to sit in economy and be grateful to be included. But yeah, man, we always love talking about flights and airlines. Like, there's one couple on an EasyJet flight.
I've never even heard of EasyJet before.
I have. It's one of those European shitty airlines,
like Ryanair or something like
that. Yeah, I think I've flown them before. Yeah. This flight was from England to Ibiza, so people were going to party. They're out, and some a newlywed couple, they started the party a little bit early, and they got caught smashing in the bathroom.
Ooh, did they now?
Passengers aboard a flight were left stunned when a couple was caught having sex inside a packed plane's toilet. As the flight attendant opened the door, passengers cheered and gasped. When the door opened, the couple seemed unfazed, continuing their mid-flight fun. Passengers aboard a flight were left...
Nah, that's a violation. As a flight attendant, what is the point of opening the door if you're just going to close it? But you just want everybody to see?
That's crazy. I couldn't believe he opened up the door. I didn't like. Yeah, it was a weird clip, but it seemed like the flight. They were all into it. They were like cheering him on,
and they didn't even lock the door. Like that's rule number one. You got to lock the door.
He must have really been. They must have really been loud for that to happen. Like honestly, but I mean, what did you make of this? Because they said they like called the authorities. They didn't say if anyone got arrested. But yeah, I mean, they showed the video. Didn't seem like anyone was really disturbed. They were kind of cheering them on.
I don't know, man. I think that they've been caught, so just let them finish what they're doing. Honestly, if you go through the trouble to have sex on a commercial flight in that small ass bathroom, you deserve to just be left alone so you can get your business done. Unless somebody has to take a shit and they're going to leave diarrhea all down the plane like that other plane that got sent back from Barcelona.
Oh.
But
it's fucking Spain, Ibiza, Barcelona. Ugh.
Something weird going on. Weird going on. Glad we went last year instead of this year.
Yeah, what the hell? I don't know. This is weird. Honestly, those bathrooms are disgusting. Like airplane bathrooms.
I know.
Nasty.
Airplanes in general, any sort of public transportation is nasty. They don't clean that shit. They go in between flights for 15 minutes. You think they really do a cleaning on those planes? No.
Hell no. They give us fucking sanitizer wipes. Like, oh, clean your own seat. Like,
exactly.
What the hell?
Like it's stupid shit. But I did see something about Japan having like the cleanest public transportation in the world. Just recently, they clean their trains like I think they said every 10 days, something like that, and they really like scrub them down and everything. It was pretty legit.
Nice. We need to do that to like the homeless people out here. Just like scrub them down every 10 days. Just hold them down. Like
you can't do that.
Free showers.
No, that's not how it's gonna end up. That's not how it's gonna end up.
They need to do something.
We fought for them to stop shooting us with water hoses. We can't do that to the homeless.
That's different now. Like,
is it?
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to Eric Adams. You need to do something about these homeless people, and the rats. I know we have the rat czar. They're breaking down the outdoor dining shacks this winter, which makes me happy. But a lot more work needs to be done. But
are they going to put them back up next spring and summer, or are they just like taking them down finally forever?
They have to take them down in the winter months. They can only have them up in the spring and summer. So We'll see who puts them back up after that. But,
got it.
But yeah, I don't know. Like smashing on a plane is never ideal to me. I don't think I'll ever want to do it personally. No. Maybe when I was younger, I would have, seen the appeal in it. But now it's like, hell no.
Maybe if we're at the point where we got a PJ, then it's like, all right, sure, you can do whatever you want. But you got plenty of space then. You probably got a full pull-out bed on the couch or something versus like standing up. You've got 3 inches of movement, like, which is enough to get the job done, but not the best experience.
Hell no. Fuck that. I'm good off that. But I don't know. I'm just kind of skeeved out by airplane bathrooms. But hey, they had a great time, and I feel like they made the flight enjoyable for everyone, at least memorable. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. This one couple, they met on a flight, and they ended up getting married years later. This woman, she met her husband on a flight. She said she did not like him at first. He was very annoying. He was so messy. His bag kept spilling over into her side of the chair. She had a major eye roll moment when she noticed that he was sitting next to her on the plane, and he was already causing a problem outside of the confined space. On board, she sat down and tried to put her headphones in as fast as possible. But before she could, he asked, "Weren't you sitting next to me in the terminal?" And she said, "Actually, you were sitting next to me."
Oh, wow. She was like, "You were sitting next to me with all your stuff everywhere." I found it quite cheeky, but as he started laughing, my opinion of him instantly changed. He wasn't annoying at all. She said that this is clearly an example of opposites attract. They ended up talking through the whole flight from New York to LA, and they exchanged numbers, and that's pretty much all she wrote.
Yeah, man, they exchanged numbers, they FaceTimed and text for like weeks before they went on their first date, which, you know, you said your first date lasted like, what, 9 hours?
Yeah.
This date lasted 3 days.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, some real...
That's impressive.
That's some real lesbian shit right there.
What? I mean, the guy did have long hair, so...
You know, they be moving in like after the first date. But,
They do.
You know.
They do.
But yeah, I actually hate, like, I hate talking on planes. Like, I hate talking in Uber. I hate talking in general, but we love talking to you guys. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. But I don't like to talk to people like out in the public. I'm very introverted, and when I'm on a flight, I want to put my headphones in. I want to like relax, zone out, listen to some music or, you know, a podcast, you know, I'll listen to No Chill Live. If you guys are ever on a flight, just watch us, you know, we'll entertain you. But I'm not looking to meet anyone like, you know, I'm interested in. But I guess if a real hot girl sat next to me and
that
she was
would
trying
change.
Yeah, it might change my mind. I don't know. I mean, I always say like peer pressure only works on me when it's like a really like beautiful woman. But other than that, I'm not open to it. Doesn't seem like they were initially. Well, it doesn't seem like she was attracted to him at all. He might have been interested in her. But yeah, you know, they actually ended up getting engaged the next year, and then they got married last year. So you know, this is actually a love story.
Wow. I mean, and listen, I think that's really cool. I'm glad it worked out for them. I don't know. When it comes to public conversations, there are some people that can bring it out of you and like have just a magnetic sort of energy. Those are conversations I enjoy. Other times when it's like somebody that's weird or like an uncomfortable situation, I feel the same way. Just leave me alone. I don't feel like talking to you. I have to be in the mood.
Yeah, but it worked out for them. I don't know. I would never see them and think that they'd be into each other, but hey, it worked out. Yeah. I don't know, Troy. Would you ever see yourself falling in this? I know you don't really like flying that much. Like, could you imagine meeting someone like this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it might be kind of calming and get my mind off of, like, you know, just being in an airplane, you know, miles in the sky. So I guess I would be open to it. I'm very similar, you know, like, I don't like talking to people. I'd love talking on the show again. But, like, talking to people and, like, Ubers and stuff, a lot of the times I don't enjoy it. I'll do it just to be polite, but I don't want to. So, I mean, if it was a situation like this, it would definitely probably calm my mind and ease me out a little bit. So I'd be open to it.
Yeah, it's very rare that I'm interested in talking to somebody in like a Uber. Now, I will say, when we were in South Carolina, there was something about these people that, like, they were able to, like, just start a conversation and it became like a good conversation. The same thing happened to me in Orlando for the initial person that picked me up at the airport. And then it was so funny because they picked up some other coworkers of mine at the airport later, and they were like, we definitely had the same Uber driver. She was talking about you. She said you were so nice and blah, blah, blah. I was like, wow, that's weird.
Did she call you sweetheart? Like,
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, good for this couple. Yeah, I would not. This is not the environment that I would find love in personally. But hey, it worked for them.
Listen, you never know, man. Don't block your blessing.
I don't know. I feel like never mind. Shit, yo. There's a few more. I like when scattered, but yeah, there's this. Okay. I feel like this is the same thing we already talked about, but they're calling it slow dumping. Do you know what that is?
Dude, I'm so tired of these different names. I'm so tired of this shit. They're not interested in you. They're not trying to fuck you anymore. Everyone has done this before. It's nothing new. I'm tired of it. Stop coming up with these new phrases for being heartbroken or miserable or whatever else is happening in your dating life.
Okay, slow dumping is when is when one partner distances themselves physically and emotionally from a romantic relationship rather than expressing their desire to end it. While hurtful, the brutal breakup method is nothing new and has been discussed over brunch and TikTok for years. Remember fizzling? This is the same thing as fizzling. A slow dump can unfold with reduced communication, avoidance of quality time together, emotional detachment, and a growing sense of distance. This one girl on TikTok said that the person does nothing breakup worthy, but they're not planning dates and not really investing themselves and not paying attention. I know you don't like these new terms and stuff, but like, what do you make of this? Do you think people are just, I don't know, young people are kind of going through these experiences and they're just like, oh, we need to create a name for this and make TikToks and make it a trend? Because this is like exactly what fizzling is. And I feel like, yeah, like, are you like, where do you, okay, when, how long do you have to date someone that warrants like a conversation to break up with them? Like, how long?
That's a good question. Is it like really dating or is it just fucking around? Because those are two very different things.
Well, I think in these examples, one person has, an idea of fucking around, the other person has an idea of dating. So, clearly these people aren't on the same page, know? So, I mean, let's just say people have been seeing each other for like weeks or months. Like, how long?
I think the only time that it deserves a conversation when you're trying to break up with someone is when you had a conversation that, hey, we're exclusive, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. If you didn't have that initial conversation, being exclusive, being boyfriend and girlfriend, putting a title on it, then you don't need a conversation that, hey, I'm not really trying to see you anymore.
Yeah, I get that.
Because if you can't have the initial conversation to take the next step, then how serious is it anyway?
Yeah, but I mean, you see someone for weeks and you kind of get in a normal cadence of communicating and talking to them and seeing them and making plans. Like, people are going to catch feelings and they're going to think about the future and they're going to want answers. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you're seeing someone for like, I don't know, over 2 months, I feel like it deserves a conversation being like, all right, like, I'm good. But, if you don't get that conversation, then I think you should take a hint.
I think it's the right thing to do, to have a conversation and talk about it, but I don't think you should feel obligated, honestly. And really it depends on what type of dynamic you two have in the relationship. But like I said, if it's something serious, then yeah, you should definitely talk about it. You can't just like disappear on somebody, especially after months. I agree with you. I would say, like, if you've been really seeing each other and not just in the talking phase or something like that for a couple months, 2-3 months, then it deserves a conversation.
Yeah. Troy, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you guys. If you've been, together for a little bit, it definitely does deserve, that conversation, that kind of like bookmark or a bookend, however you want to end it. I think it deserves that for sure.
Yeah, honestly, like, there's no like good way to break up with someone. Honestly, it's all difficult.
Unless y'all both want to break up with each other, then it's like, okay, cool.
That never really happens. Like, it's random. Like, that's so rare. Like, honestly, to both, unless something significant happens. But
this happened to me before, and then she was surprised. Like, wait, what? I was just saying that I thought you were gonna like fight for us. I'm like, nah, I'm not. Like, I'm good. Peace. I wish you the best of luck.
Damn. I mean, that's never happened to me, honestly. It's always something. But, I mean, I would like someone to break up with me if I'm not feeling it. That'd be cool, but it never happens to me. But shit happens, like I've definitely slow dumped and fizzled people.
Of course, same.
Yeah, like, it is what it is. If we're not exclusive, I've been in exclusive relationships, and I do agree, like, once you do have that conversation, it changes things. But a lot of times things are so gray, like, it's hard to tell, like, what people are doing. And if you don't have those lines, like, defined, then, like, you have to speak up. And sometimes if someone's acting different, it's okay to ask, is everything okay? I feel like it's different. Then it opens the door for a conversation. Now, somebody says, oh, everything's fine, and then they just kind of further distance themselves, and they have their own problems. But if you feel like someone is slow dumping you, ask them. You know what I mean? It's all like communication goes both ways, and I think you'll get your answers, but don't just go and make TikToks and make these fucking trends and play victim. Like, that's lame.
Yeah, I think most people are aware to a certain degree, but they ignore the feelings that they have or the things that they know to be true. They'd rather run away from whatever the problem is, similar to that guy we just talked about before, than confront it head on. I think that for me, the instances in the past where I did like that fizzling, the slow dumping, whatever the fuck we're calling this shit, it's typically been like long-term fuck buddies or something like that, where it's just like, I'm tired. I've got some other girls lined up. Like it's time to move on, that sort of thing.
Demoted, cut from the roster, just like that Hard Knocks clip. They have the ID, they try to get in the building,
and you don't want to have a conversation. You don't want to have a conversation.
It's like they have the ID to get in the building, and that shit don't work. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not responding. We're not making the plans.
It's done. Yeah, it's done. And you don't want to have the conversation because then they always cry. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's not adult behavior. It's like, but why? Like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like people should be able to communicate on both sides. And if you feel like someone's being distant, ask them. And then if they can't be real with you, then y'all ain't meant to be anyway. So, but yeah, they do need to stop coming up with these terms. But they're not gonna. We're gonna keep talking.
Humans are obsessed with categorization. Yes. We have to have a name for everything.
Especially when we have the algorithms controlling all the narratives and, culture and, people's consciousness. Like, it's just like everyone, let me make a TikTok about this. And I've done this. It's just like, who cares? Like, but hey, we care. And we care about you guys supporting us. And, we've had a sporadic summer, but, it's fall and, we're going to be way more, consistent this fall. We're gonna be here the next few weeks.
Next few weeks, we're gonna be here with you. If you got topics that you want us to talk about, if you want to come and chat with us, make sure to send some DMs. Let us know. You can reach us at nochilllive, and we are there for you.
Hell yeah, DM us, call into the show. We want to be as interactive as possible. We still have some street stuff that we did in New York that we're going to be posting up over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be hitting the streets again this fall sometime. So be on the lookout for more great content. Any last words?
None from me. Listen, enjoy. I said none for me, then started talking. Enjoy these last few days that we have, at least in the tri-state and New York City area, with the good weather. Have fun, enjoy it, and y'all know Libra season is coming. Let's go.
Let's go. Couple weeks away, but we still have Virgo time, man. Next week is still gonna be Virgo season. We got a lot ahead of us, but yeah, man, fall starting soon. But yeah, still a couple more weeks of summer. So thanks everyone for joining, and we'll be back next week. Until next time, peace.